What's up, everybody? D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and hey, there's a new Jurassic World Rebirth trailer, and I want to talk about it. Jurassic World Rebirth, the newest Jurassic World film and the next film in the Jurassic saga, had a new trailer that just came out the other day. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. The only reason I'm covering this is because it's a Gareth Edwards movie. Not to say that I'm not into Jurassic. I love the Jurassic movies, and I have videos on some of the Jurassic films on this channel already, and there was certainly a point in time where I would have liked to spend more time talking about things like Jurassic on this channel. But if YouTube is like college, I majored in kaiju with an emphasis on Godzilla and the Monsterverse. I just simply don't have the time anymore, but I still do want to go through it and talk about some of my favorite parts of it. Rest in peace to all the amazing fan art I saw of the D-Rex design when people were trying to guess what the D-Rex was going to look like. My personal favorite was this zombified T-Rex design that Owen Kellen did. I thought that this thing was fantastic. Maybe we'll get some things that kind of look like that in this movie, especially with some of these raptors, which we'll talk about. The trailer starts out with what I believe is a flashback sequence where InGen is working with the D-Rex as it begins to attack. I've heard some conflicting reports, some people saying that this flashback takes place like 15 years before the start of the new movie. If that's the case, does that mean that this is actually work being done for Jurassic World and not Jurassic Park? I would be pretty surprised, because a lot of the times, especially when you have a filmmaker like Gareth Edwards who has enormous love and admiration for a movie like Jurassic Park, a lot of the times those filmmakers will kind of do like a sequel that will not acknowledge any of the sequels to the movie that they like, and it'll be like, this one's tying back to the original and none of the others, and they're trying to simplify it. Also kind of helps with the reboot thing. I would hope not. You know, you've got the world, you better play with the world we're in. And the first trailer gave me some hope that there is going to be some continued world building from where Dominion left off, which makes me think that maybe this could be InGen working on Jurassic World rather than Jurassic Park, which would explain why these dinosaurs are still around, where this Site C came from, and why we've never heard of it before, and a bunch of other things, like the fact that I don't know if John Hammond was necessarily up to some no good business creating mutant freak monsters like the ones we see in this trailer, but you know who was? The people behind Jurassic World, who cooked up the Indominus Rex and Indominus Raptor. So I'm all for that. I'd also love if you gave some more weight to things like the Indoraptor and the Indominus Rex by like giving them real consequences, by saying like, hey, those were not the first try, those were the perfected version. You want to see what the ones along the way looked like? They're messed up. I love that stuff. The beginning of this trailer I thought was awesome. It's very terrifying. I love the set design. You see the yellow all over the place, especially the yellow panels, like the computer screens themselves look pretty retro, like kind of like they would be from the 90s. So this could be pre-Jurassic Park. They're just these super cool yellow paneling. It's very clear that this is calling back to Alien to me. Like, this is very clearly Edwards paying tribute to the set design of Alien, which I love. I love the Alien universe, love those movies, and so I'm all for that. This scene is also super reminiscent of some of Edwards' other works, such as Sandra's death at the start of Godzilla 2014, but with an even more horrific twist to it. Sandra accepted her fate. The other scientists didn't want to be put in that situation, but Sandra, she at least accepts her fate and is like, I'm going out like a champ. This poor man, the actor sells this horror and tragedy so well. Like, the actual whimper in his voice is incredibly delivered and very horrific. I loved this sequence. It is truly scary, and the way that D-Rex picks him up with its fingers, like, so creepy. Why is it not just killing him and eating him? Does it have some sort of malice behind it? Does it know it's a freak and it's pissed off about it? I don't know, but I love it. It is super scary, very monstrous. Is it very Jurassic? Not really, but hey, dude, the Jurassic movies are not very Jurassic these days, so maybe it's about time they just play into it full force, and if that's what we're doing, I'm all for it. We are told that there are at least 24 dino species that are thriving on this island in this movie. I don't know where all these dino species keep popping up from. I'm also at the point where, like, another reason I'm not doing trailer breakdowns is because I don't know the dinosaurs anymore. We have gotten to the point where it's like no longer mainstream dinosaurs. I can no longer point to it and go, that's a Stegosaurus. We're at the point where I have no clue what these dinosaurs are, and so I'm not going to be a guy who sits here and tries to break down the trailer proper and can't even name the dinosaurs in it. That's just to say, I'm all for seeing new dinosaurs I've never seen before. I'm just not going to be an expert on them. We are also told that this island is where the theme park owners did experimental work, leaving only the worst ones here. Which makes me question, what's up with some of the other dinosaurs we see? What makes them the worst of the worst? We do glimpse a two-headed Mutadon. I guess that's what they're calling these things. Did they make up that name, Mutadon? Like, are they intentionally making these things? Did they want to make this thing? This is like a two-headed raptor with wings, and actually I believe it replaces the two-headed raptor we saw in the previous trailer, so maybe that one wasn't finished finished yet. This one is. Or maybe they've made multiple of these two-headed raptors, in which case, why would you do that? But the Mutadon, that makes it seem like that they are intentionally making mutants and that they know they're up to no good. But again, going back to what I was just saying, what's up with the T-Rex? Okay, why is he so bad? Why was he left on this island? I don't know, he looks pretty cool to me. I like him a lot. He looks very chill. And by that I mean he does not look chill at all. This is one of the healthiest T-Rexes we've seen in the Jurassic franchise. This guy is bulky and hefty and has a lot of weight on him, unlike the very scrawny T-Rex we've gotten used to in the new Jurassic World trilogy. Rexy was looking very old after Jurassic Park, the original. This T-Rex looks huge to me. Is this also a mutant? This thing looks too big to be naturally sized. Like, this thing is borderline giving King Kong level kaiju. Like, I don't understand why it's so huge, but I think it's awesome. Maybe it's just Edwards playing with scale, as he's known to break scale to make things look bigger, but it's so cool. Also, very colorful T-Rex, unlike the other ones. This whole raft sequence with the T-Rex I think looks fantastic. It's just super cool. It places the T-Rex in a setting we've never seen the T-Rex in before. It is a little reminiscent of Jurassic Park 3, but on the whole, I'm all for it. I think it looks sick. The T-Rex swimming underwater reminds me a lot of Godzilla. Obviously, we can see Gareth Edwards learned a lot while making that movie. It has one of the only moments in this entire trailer that treats the dinosaurs like animals and not like monsters, and that's when the T-Rex kicks the raft. One of my favorite moments in this whole trailer. I think it's great, but I do hope that they still treat the normal dinosaurs like animals in this movie rather than like monsters, because dinosaurs aren't monsters. They're animals, and that's what made Jurassic Park so nuanced and great in the first place. It was like the only dinosaur movie that remembered that fact. There is this incredibly King Kong 2005 moment where the T-Rex roar is heard over the island, although it's this super like messed up T-Rex roar, which means maybe it's the D-Rex's roar. Which brings me to another point. This is a Gareth Edwards movie. Edwards obviously made Godzilla, but for some reason I can't help but shake the feeling that Kong should be in this film. From the D-Rex having those giant gorilla arms to the fact that this trailer, it feels like if you took King Kong 2005 and Kong Skull Island and collided them. This trailer really feels to me like if you took the characters of Kong Skull Island and forced them into the Skull Island from 2005 with the dinosaurs. It just, so many of the moments in this trailer give that vibe. Like, for instance, the Titanosaurus herd we see here, it looks straight out of King Kong 2005 with the Brontosaur herd. It's also got another one of my favorite shots in this whole trailer with the bird sitting on the dinosaur. This moment, it just captures immense scale, something Edwards is fantastic at. That's one of the things I'm most excited to see, is making the dinosaurs feel huge again. It also captures the majesty of dinosaurs, something that I feel like the Jurassic franchise really lost. We get moments and glimpses of the majesty of dinosaurs, but ever since the T-Rex escaped with the pen in Jurassic Park 93, we have completely lost that aspect of this franchise, and I really would like to see it return. It is what made these movies so special and what made them stand out. Also, again, this is just a trick Edwards first learned in Godzilla. If you notice, when Godzilla swims back into the ocean, he's surrounded by birds. I think it's, again, just Edwards learning that you can put these little natural creatures interacting with your dinosaurs or whatever, and first of all, it adds a level of like, oh yeah, birds would do that. But also it adds these levels of like scale for comparison, and it ties the monsters, in this case the dinosaurs, into feeling like a natural part of the ecosystem, into feeling like animals. That's the kind of thing that I love. More Kong vibes is the helicopter crash with the corpse. It at first felt very Predator, but then the line, we put ourselves in a place where we don't belong. Are you kidding me? It couldn't be any more Kong Skull Island. The tagline for that movie was, we don't belong here. The song playing over it was, we've got to get out of this place. It just is so funny to me how this movie feels so Kong Skull Island, even with the boat kind of filling in for the gray fox going up the river. Also, this is just a little thought, but I really hope that baby dinosaur that we see in the backpack, which kind of looks like a Triceratops, but I'm sure it isn't, I hope that thing isn't played upon. Like, Disney would include that character because they want to sell plushies of it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want a Grogu, I don't want a baby dinosaur to be annoying throughout this movie just for the sake of being like, oh, isn't this such a cute little guy? Feed that to the D-Rex. I don't want it. I'm all for a cute little dinosaur, but I'm sick of the trend of like, baby creature, isn't that cute? No, Zuko's a freak, he's weird. So was Minya, he was always weird. The D-Rex, it looks freaking fantastic. It's creepy, it's scary. I absolutely love the design of the face. Like, I can see enough of a T-Rex face in there, but it looks so xenomorph. Like, what happened to this thing? What caused it to become this horrible creature? I don't know, but I think it's awesome. It is so much like if you took a T-Rex and a xenomorph and mixed them, although it's got these like very gorilla arms. The whole thing is super cool. I do feel like that character Duncan Kincaid, I believe his name is, I feel like he's totally dead here. This is just seems like a death scene to me, but looks sick. I also love this moment with the mutant raptor pterodon thing. It looks so cool. I don't know what is up with that. It is like if you put wings on a velociraptor, which I think is pretty cool. It also moves in ways that reminds me a lot of Jurassic Park: The Lost World, which is also neat. I'm all for this movie being like mutants, mutant monsters. You know, we opened Pandora's box with the Indominus Rex, and then we never really did enough with it, in my opinion. Like, we never fully sent it. We never played into the actual themes of what that would actually mean in this universe and what it means for our real scientific exploration. It was just like, corporations are naughty and they always be doing things corporation style, which is rushing products, trying to make things bigger and better, and always making it dumb. That's not the takeaway. The Jurassic series is about playing God and about opening Pandora's box with science, about Frankensteins, and this type of Frankenstein dinosaur, this is the type of thing I want to see in these movies. I also love the intelligence of the dinosaurs in this trailer, like that scene where the Mosasaur is trapping the boat and it's slamming it up against the rock wall, feeling very King Kong 2005 as the Venturer gets stranded on Skull Island. But that scene I thought was so cool. It also reminds me a lot of Indiana Jones. Like, I feel like that's Jones on the tank. It's very Spielberg. Another Spielbergian moment in here. This character Zora, she's kind of got like a bit of a Sheriff Brody vibe with the rifle. So I could see a lot of Spielberg influence in here as well. And same with that moment where they're in the pterodon nest. Very Indiana Jones. And I kind of like that. I like that we're going like full Spielberg with this. That's obviously something Edwards always wants to do. But what I really like is that this movie, at least this trailer, gives me this vibe. This trailer feels like a big course correction from the last trailer, which is like cheesy line after cheesy line. This trailer was like, okay, maybe you don't want our human characters to be selling the movie to you because they have a lot of cheesy trailer lines. Instead, let's just show you the monsters. You know, Jurassic, in my opinion, the thing that made it so special was the characters, not the dinosaurs. The philosophical arguments, the actual intelligence behind the dialogue being spoken. It was beautiful. But you know what? If we're gonna go full on with the dinosaurs, this is pretty cool because it's the first Jurassic movie that like fully feels like it's playing into the horror elements of Jurassic. The first Jurassic Park, I would say, is very horror adjacent, and then they kind of teeter-totter between horror adjacent and just full-blown action film ever since. I don't think the Jurassic series should be action. I think if anything, it's an adventure series with a really healthy balance of horror. One of my favorite moments in Fallen Kingdom was like that whole act at the mansion because it felt like this gothic horror movie with this freaky raptor running around it. And this is like, hey, we're going full-on horror movie. This is just a horror movie like Kong Skull Island if it had been a little scarier. I'm all for that, man. I was already sold on the fact that it was Gareth Edwards. I thought the first trailer was also good, but this trailer I thought was so cool. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit, wanted to rant about it, wanted to get my thoughts out there on it. I'll call this a breakdown, but it's not the same type of breakdown that you're used to. You know, I'm not pointing out all the Easter eggs or anything. I'm just going through it, breaking down my thoughts on it. But what do you guys think? Are you feeling the vibes, or are you like, oh, this does not look like it's for me? Either way, comment below and let me know, what dinosaur are you most excited to see? I'm definitely most excited to see the D-Rex and then those new freaky raptors. They're so cool. Comment below, let me know what you guys are thinking. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. It is through the support of the patrons on Patreon that I'm able to continue to make videos like this for you in the first place. If you want to support the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. If that's not your thing, please consider joining as a channel member. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.